I think there are misconceptions about what the peer is, and we talk about those in depth. And people need to see what we have to talk about, because you can't keep believing these false allegations or these false preconceived notions that you have about peers. So I think that's another reason why this podcast is important. Yeah.
Do I think there's misconceptions for the peer perspective? Yes, I think we overlook, sometimes forgotten or whatnot. I don't think there's enough value in the whole idea of a peer specialist and that whole field in general. And some people may think it's a walk in the park, and the reality is it's not really a walk in the park. Um, it's years of trauma um, being released in the process, helping somebody else overcome their traumatic event. So I think there's definitely a misconception of what peer support is and who we are.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and agree with both of you. There are absolutely misconceptions about the work of a peer specialist and what peer support means. I think that a lot of times when people don't understand, they have the tendency to devalue the work that we do and kind of brush it off, excuse me, as just being a peer, just being a friend. And like you said, Ian, there is definitely like a lot of years of experience of having worked through trauma or currently working through trauma, currently like constantly trying to stay in a state of wellness so that we are well enough to do the work that we do, that we are well enough to support the people who are looking for peer support from us. And I don't think people see that. I think people see it as a job that if you don't have years of like school experience and degrees that go up on a wall, then maybe what you do is not as important, which is bullshit. And we are going to kind of work towards breaking that misconception through the work of doing this project and having these conversations on this podcast. So yeah, like you said, Drew, this is a really important podcast and these are really important conversations we're having. And like, fuck those misconceptions, because we are gonna kind of like lay out the truth and let people know what it is from the perspective of a Black peer.